great pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Mr. Bruce Shelton. He serves us in so many ways here. He's senior pastor. He serves on the board of directors and the pastoral council. As we mentioned before, he coordinates our music. He himself is a talented musician, as you saw with the piano. And one time he was up here singing some sort of a Broadway tune. I don't remember what it was, Bruce, but I remember thinking, what is this guy doing here? I mean, he did really, I could see him on Broadway, really. He, in his former working life, was a probation officer with people who have had addictions, and he's an excellent counselor in so many ways. You know, the prayer of St. Francis says, make me an instrument of your peace. And I have to honestly say, I know few people that are better examples of that than Bruce. He exudes love and caring and always seeks to find the path to peace and harmony. And so I hope that you will all welcome him with me, and it's with great affection and admiration that I bring up Bruce Shelton.
All right, well, good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
It's good to see everybody. And as is my custom, I'd ask that you help me with this talk this morning. And if we could all just be silent for a few moments, and let's tune into God's presence, and let's affirm that God will use me and also Francis and Lloyd this morning to say the words that will be of the most help to you, and especially words that will be honor the animals of the world. Amen. Okay. Well, today's St. Francis feast day, and as you know, St. Francis was the patron saint of animals, and so today we're going to honor the animals of the world. Let me ask this, how many people in this room own an animal now, a domestic animal, or have had one in the past? Raise your hands. I think everybody raised their hands. Yeah, so we're all animal lovers, right? Not only domestic animals, but animals everywhere in the wild. And so today, because St. Francis was the patron saint of animals and he was renowned for his love for animals, we're going to focus today on our relationship with the animals of the world. In particular, we're going to take a look at the spiritual lessons that animals have to teach us, okay? For example, animals always live when? In the now, in the present moment. Now, this is a wonderful lesson for us. Because it's only in the now that you and I actually exist, okay? It's only in the now, right this moment, that our hearts are beating, we're breathing, we're feeling, we're seeing, right now. Now, 10 minutes ago, we were just getting ready to start this talk and so forth. We're having a meditation. Cheryl was singing, but it's just a memory. 10 minutes ago, it doesn't exist anymore. It's just a memory. It's a thought form in our head. Likewise, we can project ahead 10 minutes, and 10 minutes from now, you can project ahead, and I'll be talking still, and we can imagine that. We can imagine that, but it's no more than a thought form in our head. It doesn't exist. And when 10 minutes from now comes, it's no longer the future, it's the now. Okay? So this is the reason it's so important to understand this is because it's only in the present moment, only in the now, that we can actually tap in to our highest potential, okay, and to the center of our being. Only in the now can we connect with God. All right? When our heads are lost with all these thoughts about the past and the future, they're very distracting, and it takes us away from right now. Now, animals, live in the now, and therefore, they're always connected with life, you see, and life just pours through them, and they live their lives to their highest potential. We don't live our lives to our highest potential because we're constantly lost in our thoughts in our head. The only time we really reach our highest potential is when we're right now and we we're centered, we're connecting with the center of our being. Jesus said the kingdom of heaven is within you. So this is what I'm talking about. It's only right now that we can actually connect with that presence of God within us. Everybody with me so far? This is why animals are so beautiful. How they just watch animals and we can see how they work. Now, our minds are the greatest gift the universe has given to us. Our minds and our bodies are just gifts. We take them for granted. But look what we do with our minds. With our minds, we're able to create cures to diseases. We're able to send astronauts to the moon. We built beautiful cities and with homes we live in. With our minds, we're able to do this. Artistically, with our minds, we're able to create beautiful art and music and theater. The problem we have with our minds is that we're unable to turn them off when we don't need them, okay? I like the way Eckhart Tolle explains it. Eckhart Tolle says ideally our minds should be like compared to a power tool on our tool bench, okay? I need to cut some wood, so I go to my tool bench, I pull out the electric saw, I plug it in, turn it on, do my work with the saw, cut the wood. When I'm finished, I take the power tool, put it back on the tool bench, and I push the off button, okay? Now if we could use our minds like that, you see, just use our minds when we really need to use our minds to be creative or to problem solve, that would be ideal. The problem is the off button in our mind is dysfunctional. Doesn't work very well. We can't seem to turn it off, you know? And, our minds are constantly having, all these thoughts going on in our head about the past and the future. Beating ourselves up for mistakes we've made in the past, or holding resentments, even rage towards others who may have offended us in the past. Our minds just have this voice, we like to call it the voice in the head. Is everybody familiar with the voice in your head? It's like, especially when we're upset and things are disturbing, it can be something like we just saw something on the news media, the news of the world. Well, if you really want to get upset, just turn the TV on, right? And so we do that, and all of a sudden we got a thought in our head, and oh my goodness, and we can't turn it off. That's the voice in the head that I'm talking about, okay? Animals don't have that. Isn't that interesting? And therefore, they're not using their limited psychic powers, wasting it on all these thoughts that we have no control over. Now, I love Eckhart Tolle. He really wrote we're going to be showing you a minute ago a book that he wrote called Guardians of Being. And it's all about the spiritual lessons animals have to teach us. In this book, he teamed up with the creator of the Much comic series, and it's still running, and Patrick O'Donnell, and he teamed up with him, and he created this little book called The Guardians of Being that consists of cartoons and teachings from Eckhart Tolle about the lessons animals have to teach us. So we'll get to that in just a minute. Eckhart Tolle says that he's lived with several Zen masters, and all of them have been cats. He says, even ducks can teach, I'm going to quote him here, he says, even ducks can teach us important lessons. Just watching them is a meditation. How peacefully they float along, at ease with themselves, totally present in the now, dignified and perfect as only mindless creatures can be. Okay, that's a quote from Eckhart Tolle. Now, I want to take a deeper look at two particular ducks, okay? We imagine and we've all done this, we're sitting on a park bench and there's a pond out there and there's ducks, on the pond. And we noticed, we're going to call there's two ducks in particular we're going to look at. One is duck number one, duck number two, okay? Duck number one we're watching him, and this duck is quite happy. He's found some minnows and some algae and eating plants and so forth, and he's just gorging away, right? He's very happy. Duck number one's very happy. Duck number two, now we look on the other side of the pond, we see this other duck, duck number two, and he hasn't found any food yet, so he's hungry, you know? And he sees duck number one over here in a nice area where there's all this food, so he paddles over, right? And but as he comes close to duck number one's not happy about this. He staked out his turf. He doesn't want any competition. He wants all these fish for himself. So he goes out, confronts duck number two. Bam, they have a clash. Now, usually if you watch this, it only lasts for less than 30 seconds. And the alpha male, who happens to be duck number one, drives duck number two away, okay? Everybody visualizing this? We've all seen this, right? If we haven't seen it in person, we've seen it on the Discovery Channel, right? So duck number, and then you look at them, and then a few moments later, they're both kind of like doing like this. This is my best imitation for ducks flapping their wings. And what they're doing, of course, is just releasing all those hormones that just got released, the adrenaline, the cortisol, that enabled them to go into fight or flight, okay? And then we keep looking at the ducks, and this is the most interesting thing. About 10 minutes later, duck number two's over here. It found another place to feed. Duck number one's still eating. And it's like nothing ever happened. They're over it. You know, they're over it, you know. Now, we've got a second scenario here. Second scenario, we have the same two ducks, but these ducks have human minds. Okay, so you have to stretch your imagination a little bit about this. These ducks think like we do, right? So, and because they're ducks, we're going to give them names. Duck number one is Charlie. Duck number two is George, okay? Now, I was going to call these ducks Bruce and Jerry, but I was afraid you might misinterpret what I'm trying to teach here today, so I left that out. So, all right, and so we have Charlie, who's over here feeding, having a great feast, and then we have George on the other side of the pond sitting there. And then George paddles over because he wants to eat some food too, right? He wants to be where Charlie is. And Charlie will have nothing of it. Charlie goes out and confronts him. They have a tussle. Because Charlie's the alpha male, he drives George away, okay? And then you see them flapping their wings. And now this is, so far, it's pretty much like the way ducks are, that are mindless, right? But this is where it changes. George is pissed off. George is really upset and angry at what Charlie just did. And he has thoughts in his head. That was the most awful experience I've ever had in my life. I feel totally humiliated. All the other ducks were watching me. I can't face them anymore. I feel terrible. I'm going to get even with Charlie if it's the last thing I ever do, okay? This is the duck with the human mind. And it doesn't end there, right? That night when all the ducks are out in the water, floating on the water, and or they're sleeping, or they're on the shore, all the ducks are sleeping soundly, but George can't fall asleep. He keeps having these thoughts in his head of anger towards what had happened the day before. I'm going to get even with that Charlie if it's the last thing I do. He deserves to have the same thing happen to him. And he can't sleep. Anybody had nights like that? You're upset with somebody and you got these thoughts and you can't let them go, resentments or whatever they may be. The next morning, all the ducks awaken at the crack of dawn. They're all ready to go. George wakes up, and he's got bloodshot eyes. He hadn't slept all night. He's miserable. The whole day is miserable because he didn't sleep any the night before, right? It doesn't stop there. The next day, George can't let go of these thoughts. The next week, the next month, the next lifetime, George is holding on to these angry thoughts towards Charlie, okay? Now, does that sound familiar? Anybody identify with that? We have a resentment maybe towards somebody who honestly did something that was wrong to us. They trespassed against us, and we just can't seem to let it go, you see? That's the dilemma that we're in with our human minds. So our human minds are a double-edged sword. They're a great blessing on the one hand, but they're really our biggest obstacle to reaching our fullest potential, okay, to awakening to who we are, is our own human minds. Now, our work is not to evolve backwards to the animal state. That's not our work. Our work is to evolve upward to a higher state of consciousness where we still have our minds, but we are totally in control, okay? We only use our minds like that power tool when we really need to use our minds, okay, to be creative or to problem solve. So that brings us to the next part of this presentation this morning. We're going to take a look at the book I was telling you about, Guardians of Being, by, can you turn the lights off? Guardians of Being by Eckhart Tolle and Patrick O'Donnell. And we get the women, get the kids to come in too. You're going to get them, James? Good. And so you'll see in a moment the way he did this is quite interesting. He takes these, Eckhart Tolle writes these beautiful lyrics talking about the great lessons that animals have to teach us. And he teams up with Patrick O'Donnell, and they have these cartoons, and this whole book can be read like in 30 minutes time. So it's kind of just a fun book. All right, let's see, let me get this. Okay. Everything natural, every flower, tree, and animal has important lessons to teach us if we would only stop.
Look and listen.
Reflect.
Just close.
Keep a
Song in your heart.
Smell the roses.
Be happy. Find your own pace.
I should be taking notes.
Just watching an animal closely can take you out of your mind and bring you into the present moment, which is where the animal lives all the time, surrendered to life.
It's so important and wonderful to watch an animal because an animal has no opinion about itself. It is.
Another perfect day. That's why the dog is so joyful.
And why the cat purrs.
When you get a dog to...
When you pet it.
When you pat a dog or listen to a cat purring, thinking may subside for a moment, and a space of stillness arises within you, a doorway into being.
The vital function that pets fulfill in this world hasn't been fully recognized. They keep millions of people sane.
Healed. They have become guardians of being.
Most of us live in a world of mental abstractions, conceptualization, and image making. A world of thought. We are immersed in a continuous stream of mental noise. It seems that we can't stop thinking.
I was thinking of all my problems. I was thinking of all the pain of the past, and I was thinking of all the uncertainty of the future. And I was thinking, poor, poor me, my sad life. And then I was thinking how little time there is. And I'm really thinking it's all just hopeless. What can I do?
Stop thinking. Just as a dog loves to chew bones, the human mind loves its problems. Squeak, 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 squeak.
Fun for the whole family.
I have lived with many Zen masters All of them cats.
Millions of people who would otherwise be completely lost in their thoughts and in the endless past and future concerns are taken back by their dog or cat into the present moment again and again and reminded of the joy of being.
Where are you taking him?
We have forgotten what rocks, plants, and animals still know. We have forgotten how to be still, to be ourselves, to be where life is, here and now.
What's on my to-do list today? Just be.
The dog is in the now. It can teach you or remind you. The secret of life is to always live in the moment, to live in the now.
Now?
Now.
The last now or the next now?
The now.
Ooh. Like now?
Just like it.
Oh, here we go again. All right, look at me. I'm now living in the now. Me right here, right now. No future, no past, just now. Okay, now what? Be alert as you watch a dog at play or at rest. Let the animal teach you to feel at home in the now, to celebrate life by being completely present.
You just watch the tail. With some dogs, you just look at them. Just a little look is enough. And then their tail goes, life is good, life is good. And they're not telling themselves a story of why life is good. It's a direct realization.
Life is good. The human says, I love myself or I hate myself. The dog says, woof woof, which translated means I am myself. I call that integrity, being one with yourself.
It's me. The dog has no self-image, good or bad. So he has no need to play roles. He does not love himself or hate himself. He has no self. How to live free of the burden of self. What a great spiritual teaching.
Eat, walk, play, nap. I'm a simple dog. The key to transformation is to make friends with this moment. What moment it takes doesn't really matter. Say yes to it. Allow it. Be with it. Oh, that was the dog's teaching. I'm just translating it into words.
Gee, what time is it?
No.
Dogs always know what time it is. So, do you think we should go for a walk?
Woof!
Okay.
Allow your dog to take you for a walk every day. It's good for the body. It's good for the soul.
You're full of good ideas, aren't you, Earl?
Woof!
Dogs emanate a goodness that people respond to. One of the joys of walking your dog is that people come up to you and immediately their hearts open. And they're not interested in you, of course. They want to pat your dog.
Spread the love. Dogs offer the precious opportunity, even to people who are trapped in their egos, of loving and being loved unconditionally.
Dinner.
Good boy.
When you don't cover up the world with words and labels, a sense of the miraculous returns to your life that was lost a long time ago when humanity, instead of using thought, became possessed by thought. A depth returns to your life. Things regain their newness, their freshness.
Everybody applaud them. What is it that so many people find enchanting in animals? It's their essence, their being, is not covered up by the mind as it is in most humans. And whenever you feel that essence in another, you can also feel it in yourself.
Every being is a spark of the divine, or God. Look into the eyes of the dog and sense that innermost core.
When you are present, you can sense the spirit, the one consciousness in every creature, and love it as yourself.
Love is a deep empathy with the other's beingness. You recognize yourself, your essence, in the other, so you can no longer inflict suffering on the other.
My goodness, the world has changed. You are not separate from the whole. You are one with the sun, the earth, the air. You don't have a life, you are life. Woofie! The trees, the rocks, the grass, the dirt, the bugs, the sky, the birds, the air. Whew, okay. Let's all go for a spin.
The one life, the one consciousness, takes on the form of a man or a woman, a blade of grass, a dog, a planet, a sun, a galaxy. This is the play of forms, the dance of life.
We are ultimately not separate, not from one another, nor from any living thing. The trees, the flowers, the cat, the dog, you can sense yourself in them, the essence of who you are. You could say God. There is a term, a Christian term, which is beautiful.
Loving the Creator in the creature.
The end.